Good morning. How are you all? Thursday. It is today. We're nearly there. There's light at the end of the tunnel. I have a sneaking suspicion it's a train coming towards us.
And it's a big freaking
It's
train.
big as a freaking train. Are we a bit delicate this morning?
Just a smidge.
Yes, we were having a good time last night. Wasn't one?
I was having whiskey on the liffey.
Whiskey on the Liffey, exactly. Good night. Great night by aviators, as per usual. Paul and the team there, or Paul, seems to pull off some fantastic events. And John Cashman, as always, he's a hell of a man for it as well. So great night. Thanks, lads. Really appreciate that. Today, going to touch on some Scotch. Look, they're the beast that Irish whiskey aspires to be as big as. They've had a bit of a head start on us. Few of the brands, Macallan, stuff like that, really are getting the worldwide audience. I mean, the numbers that they hit and what Johnny Walker sells in India alone dwarfs what we sell worldwide. So, look, we've a bit of catching up to do, but we're getting there. I mean, Irish whiskey really is growing, but so is the Scotch, are still producing lots more. As I said, they've been at it a while, and they've got all variations similar to what we're experiencing here in Ireland now. They've got all variations of distilleries and regions and finishes and not finishes, obviously, because that's one of the things that's different from us to them. They have to put it into an oak barrel. We can do whatever we like. Yay, because we're Irish. Ta-da! I'll talk about these ones, so if you can zoom in on them ones there, Nilo. These are Edradour. So Edradour has the title of the smallest distillery in Scotland. So it's a small little farm distillery. I mean, 95,000 litres a year. It's a tiny little distillery. I mean, it's there with Brendan type scenario. I don't even know what Brendan can produce volume wise, but I mean, it's a nice little farm distillery. The mash tuns are all open. I mean, it really is a boutique distillery. Picture postcard, Katie. Look at the picture on the front of it. It is literally what Edradour is like, the village of Edradour is like.
Cool.
It's just this tiny little chocolate box up in the Highlands village, so it's a crack of one. We've got a couple of different ones in this month. We've got a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, and that's an old 10-year-old. That's quite old as well, and one of them is part of the set as well. Rennie McIntosh, I mean,
I just think this is cute.
my good God, if he was any more Scottish, he'd be a haggis. Rennie McIntosh Crystal. Look at that. Look. Isn't it just?
I think it's lovely.
Now, wouldn't be worth a damn. I mean, I'd be more inclined to pour the whiskey into that and drink out of that and pour it into that and then pour it into the glass.
Go to the effort.
Yeah, exactly. Just, But a nice reset, all the same. As I said, Macallan is the monster that everybody wants to be, especially in Ireland. Well, not especially in Ireland. We don't want to be it. But it is, they set the prices for the big high-end stuff. And I mean, again, you can see the influence that they've had on presentation and all that sort of thing that everybody else sort of tries to catch up with. So you've got the rare cask. That's the batch number 3 2018 release. That's one of the first rare casks. That was, I think, 2016. I think was the first year of it. I'm not 100% sure. You like this.
Oh, wow.
You like this because it's pretty. It's pretty and shiny and ticks all the boxes for our Katie. So that's a sleeve that goes over that box. I took it off to show off this. I mean, presentation wise, it is just look.
That is just
look
beautiful.
At that. 26-year-old Glenfiddich Grand Couronne. So I presume that means Grand Crown. Cognac cask finish. Again, as I said, they're doing their cask finishes, but it would have been aged in the...
You can get that for me.
I can get that for you. I can, yes. Yes, Kitty, I can get that for you. Just like that. 43.8%. Here's McKinley's. So this was a replica, a recreation, as they call it, of the 1907 whiskey and its presentation. The one that Shackleton done. Yes, Ernest Shackleton. So the ones that was done for the Antarctic exploration. Yesterday on my yesterday's quiz was, is there a country that doesn't have whiskey? And John Cashman went, Antarctica. And he went, oh, but what about the whiskey that's buried up there from the ship? And I went, ha. But that wasn't distilled there, so maybe Antarctica's the country that doesn't have...
Yeah, but Antarctica is a continent and it doesn't really have a population.
But I'm sure it's really a country as well. I know, but yeah. Look,
Yes.
he was being pedantic with me. I wasn't going to argue with him. It's John Cashman. He knows more than me. Bruichladdich. Bruichladdich is... We all know who Bruichladdich is and what he means to Irish whiskey. Mr. Mark Rainier. Weapons of Mass Destruction 3. The legend resurfaces. The Yellow Submarine. 25-year-old, 1991. There you go. That's Mark Rainier. And yeah.
Ta-da.
This one, you pointed this one out to me, Nilo, was the Open. This is Loch Lomond in Scotland, Loch Lomond Whiskies, and it's a big puddle in Scotland, and you drive around it. The roads are quite narrow. We were around it a couple of weeks ago on the motorbikes. It is a bit of a tourist hotspot. There's loads of wee boats and dinghies and saily things and people camping and all that sort of stuff. It's lovely to see. But they sponsor the British Open or the Scottish Open or the British Open. It's usually held up there. And then back to this Glenfarclas. And why I talk about Glenfarclas is they've had a mad old past. I mean, they've gone from being a flame-fed stills. They took out the flame-fed stills. They put in steam-powered ones. They found out that the whiskey wasn't the same, and then they put the flame-fed ones back in. It is still a cracking whiskey. It is probably one of my most favourite Scotch. Just as a general run-of-the-mill drinking. Glendronach, probably Jarlath and his influence on me. Glendronach would be probably one of my favourite. But that Glenfarclas is lovely. That's the heritage. Cask strength. So a proper man's whiskey. But again, look at the colour of it. You felt like you were drinking that last night. You probably were drinking cask strength whiskey last night.
I was drinking last night.
You were drinking rather a lot, kid.
I was.
Yeah. And you know good that it's on a boat that's moving. I mean, the boat was moored up and you still thought it was moving. You lunatic.
Just not good on boats.
You might as well be standing on the quay wall. It doesn't move. It's been there.
I could feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before any alcohol.
It wasn't the
taken.
wobbles of the alcohol, no.
No, it wasn't.
So that's some of the Scotch. There is a lot more. Obviously, there's a lot more Macallan in. There's a fair few other things in this month as well. But I just thought I'd highlight some of them. And particularly the Edradour. I did have a taste of one once. Cracking little whiskey. I haven't tasted any of them, so I'm not speaking from any experience. Glenfiddich is is a cracking whiskey. Does some fantastic stuff. Glenfarclas, one of my favourites. Yellow Submarine, Mark Rainier.
Enough said.
I mean, Daftmill, I didn't mention that. Actually, that was one of the ones that is, that's up there with Springbank, as in people losing their proverbials on it. Daftmill and the collectability of Daftmill as well. So, distilled in 07, bottled in 2020. That is, how many years, Katie? 2020, 07.
No.
Count your fingers.
Nope.
No. A family owned and operated seasonal distillery located in the heart of the Kingdom of Fife. I think we should have a Kingdom of Louth. The Kingdom of Louth.
No.
Can I be the king?
No.
Please?
No.
Okay. Tomorrow is Go Day. Tomorrow is, we're nearly there. Niall, you have worked a miracle as always getting this room in order. We are nearly there. A few more pictures to take and a few more things to reorganise and all that sort of stuff, but we're good, nearly good to go. Couple of charity bottles to mention tomorrow. There's the Biggie, there's the Redbreast. I think everybody knows about that at this stage. The Dream Cask, but there is a couple of other ones. We've got the very first release from the Nine Rivers.
We do.
And we've also got Piotr give us a bottle for charity as well. So we have them as well. Now we're going to talk about them tomorrow, and perhaps a few other bits and pieces. And in the meantime, Katie's going to sit down again.
No, Katie's got to go take photos.
Katie does have to go and take photos. You want to see the job I had getting rid of the chair this morning. Out of the lab this morning was an even bigger challenge, wasn't it?
You know.
I'm a bad husband making her get up and go to work. Yes, I know that. Right, that'll do. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Good luck. Bye.